Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Frank, your host. How you guys all doing? Saturday night. Yeah, my last video, dumb computers. I don't know what it was, but my camera it said it was recording, right? So, you know, I took the video, loaded it up, but it was like only like 8-9 minutes. I'm like, are you joking? It was like 30 minutes that did not get recorded, guys, and it was really good. I don't even know where to begin. Like, that 30 minutes of this stuff, right? I don't know. We're just gonna. I don't know if it's the computer, because every once in a while my computer, what happens is, I don't want to say it kind of locks up, meaning like, whatever, the mouse cursor just disappears and like you can't do anything for a couple of seconds. So I think what's going on is if it pauses like a little too long, it just, like, the file won't keep recording, but my camera says it's recording. That's the only thing I could come up with. Outside of that, and it happened a couple of times on my other channel, and it doesn't happen that often. Sorry guys, anyway, I'll get into that. My nose is like itchy, and yeah. So I don't know what the newsworthy stuff that you guys got going on today. Actually, it's the start of Passover. And actually tomorrow is going to be Palm Sunday. And if you guys don't know what that is, right? So first, right, Passover. And that actually goes back to the story of Moses, the children of Israel, right? So they called it Passover because the last curse or whatever, that was unleashed upon Egypt was the killing of the firstborn. And to be honest, it wasn't just people, it was actually firstborn of like everything. So I don't know, that's what it says, right? Like, I don't know, this must have been some crazy ass God, right? Lots of love and compassion, right? I don't know, man. Some of it's probably true, some of it's not. But anyway, the Passover. So it's also sad too, because according to what it said, is that you had to kill like your finest lamb or something, and then you painted your threshold right on the outside of the house, right? That's what that was called. So you would put it on there, right? So the this whatever the angel of death, if you will, hey, God made everything, so God made evil, so then why is he pissed off at evil? I don't know. You only have yourself to blame, God. Like, jeez, oh Pete's. You made him evil, and then you're surprised that he's evil. Like, really? I don't know. I sometimes, you start thinking these things, and you're just like, I don't know, something's wrong here. But anyway, yeah, so the angel of death would pass your house over, right? Real God would know that it was a Jewish family, right? So right, but anyway, that's the meaning of the Passover, right? So that they were spared, so their firstborn sons or whatever, right? They weren't killed, right? But anyway, but Palm Sunday, right? Because during Jesus' time, because the story is he was Jewish, right, or Hebrew, right? So that's like Passover's like one of the, out of all the festivals or times appointed, that men would converse with God, if you will. Passover's one of the biggest ones, and it's basically a week-long festival. Pretty much all of the Hebrew are 7. Kind of interesting, right? 7 days. All weeks are 7 days. Yeah, I know, it's kind of crazy, right? But anyway, so Palm Sunday. So when Jesus came into Jerusalem, he's riding on his donkey, right? But palms back then, actually the ancient past or whatever, especially in the Middle East, palms meant like peace, right? Like palm, the palm leaves of the palm trees, right? So when he was coming in to Jerusalem, the crowds they had their palms. So when he was coming in, hence the word, because it was on a Sunday, palm, right? Because of that, and that was on a Sunday, and that's the first day of Passover. Although the Hebrews start their day at Saturday at night when the sun goes down, so that's their Sunday, right? But during the day, Sunday, right? So that's just but that's how it came out. Anyway, with that being said, right? If you guys have holidays, hey man, good. I can't wait because we got Good Friday, and then so we got like a little 4-day weekend. But anyway, today, nothing like crazy. I don't even know what to really talk about, but I went walking. That felt. I kind of was like in a downer mood. Went out walking, kind of came back, kind of felt a little better, and then Raymond Minds and Thoughts. I can't remember. Sorry. He had a live stream or whatever they call it with like his with Homefront and a couple other guys, and it was actually really good because it said "I Want to Believe," which is kind of like a spin off of. If you guys don't remember the X-Files, right? I think it was. Was it Scully? I always get them backwards. But he had that UFO thing. It says "I Want to Believe," right? But so it was kind of like it was actually good because I think it went on for like 5. I don't say 5 hours, but it was I don't know 4, something like that. And I was out in my garage, so I was putting things away. Kind of securing a couple things that I had. So, and it's ended up getting like nicer and warmer out there. So I spent a good portion of that. And then I just got done eating dinner. And thought I'd comment here and say hi to you guys. But yeah, so on Friday, and again, I kind of went into this, but, maybe we'll revisit it if I kind of remember. Because I think I was talking about China and then like how the tariffs work and like how we should and all this stuff, and then I kind of went into what I was doing for my personal finances, and then like how we can kind of protect and like do. So it just kind of went all over the map, and I'm just it was a really good one, guys, and I'm sorry that my dumb camera didn't do it. But so anyway, at a high level, I think I saw a little bit of my. What's it called? Onyx coin or something? I've been going down for like, I don't know, like a month or something. This guy named Ninja, he's like a pump, like I call a pumper and a dumper. Because he just says so. He says it. It's like by the time he says, hey, you should buy this coin, it's already going up. So by the time you buy it, and then he's like, he stops and then just like starts falling for... and he's like, hey, you guys all made a bunch of money. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm still red. Like, it would have been better if I didn't buy anything. So, but I had my thing on like auto buy for I don't know, a couple dollars a day. So, but it was just kept going down and down. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's not a lot of money, right? But I'm just like, every time I buy an investment, it goes down. So why the hell, right? Like, what? I'll just put my money in a 1-month treasury bill. At least it won't go down, and I'll make 4%. All right, I don't know how much longer that's going to go on, but so finally, I don't know what the hell happened, but he got on and said, "Hey, I sold my XRP to buy this coin." For like there was a couple of days he was leaving everyone in suspense, and then he talked about Onyx coin again, and I went, "Oh, not this shit again." So the moment he said that, I'm like, all right, and he just kept going up and up and up and up and up and up. I'm like, all right, I don't sell yet, don't sell yet, Frank. Like, kind of, and then I'm like, all right, because it was like just like 20% over. I'm like, hey, I can make 20%, and then I was working on Friday, right, and then all of a sudden it was like up 120%. I'm like, holy crap, like All right, so now let's get our, so I pulled out all the money in my initial investment, right? So now it's like, I don't know, I think I had like $200 in there, and then like once that happened, it just kind of like it kind of like just stayed there and just flatlined, and then it started going down. I was like, yeah, we should have sold the rest of it, all right? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. At least I got my initial investment out of it. All my other cryptos are just, they're bleeding, they're on the ground. It's like but anyway, some of the other stocks that I have, because I have a lot of commodity miners, right? A lot of them are gold, silver miners, but they do other industrial, because like silver in particular is actually a waste product from base metal mining. There's a couple only pure plays for silver, but those are really, really hard. Basically, most of our silver comes from mining other materials, but so I've had them for like not quite 5 years, right? So they're long-term plays, and I had a couple of them that they weren't really good dividend. They didn't really have a dividend or anything. So I kind of exited some of those positions and got an okay return. There was a lot of loss by the, like for a long time. I think when I bought them, and then was like in a, it kind of went up. When I bought it, and then it went up, and then it was like 2 years of just I was like, oh man, So, but no, I was able to ride that because I was like, all right, I don't need this money anytime soon. So I was able to make a little bit of a profit. I think it kind of came out to average like maybe about 8% a year, which that's kind of trivial, right? They always say you should be getting that from your 401ks, but I did keep the rest of my other mining stocks because they pay a dividend. So there'll be both a capital, what do they call it, capital gains and passive income. But gold just kept going up and up and up and up and up, and I'm like, all right, so that means my miners. And the reason why I'm getting these miners, right, because I do have gold, right, but I want to sell my gold. So buying a miner is kind of like a leverage, right? You're not actually buying gold and silver. You're buying a quote-unquote share in a company that sells it, right? So they're kind of leveraged from that position. And you can kind of get in and out of these things, right? You don't have the premiums to worry about, things like that. So I want to keep my positions. There was a couple where I was debating it because it was already, I think on one of them was like either close to or just around like 100% return, right? I'm like, but remember, guys, I've had these positions for approximately 5 years, right? So that's right around 20% a year, at least average, right? There were some years they were down, so some years are way up, down, because they're pretty volatile. It's really hard. If you think crypto's pretty bad, mining stocks, commodity mining stocks are probably right there with it. But yeah, so I was able to sell a couple of my positions. I kind of wanted to consolidate, get some, take a little bit of profit, still keep, like what was it, like 2/3 of whatever I had is still tied up there, right? So, hey, I'll probably have enough money if I want to pay the car off. I probably will, right? But I probably won't. I'll probably pay a good portion. So whatever I do get, whatever that portion is, right, like 10% of it, I'll pay right away into the car, and then I'm already paying like $100, $200 more a month in principal to pay it down, because I plan on paying it off in like Sorry, guys, I gotta get. And I also got this new water bottle. It's a monster. I got it at Sam's Club. Look at this thing. Look. I can't even. Yeah. It's like like you go to sports or something. It's this. There's like this big handle. It's actually a beefy handle too, but it holds like about, I don't know, like 100 ounces of water. Like, I'm like, all right. And I bought it, and then it was great because I filled it all up, and it keeps it pretty relatively cold all day. And I had it when I was in the garage. So, all right, guys. Other than that, I really don't have anything else. It's been 15 minutes, so I guess I can really fill the air with with my hot air. But yeah, how are you guys all doing? It's like I said, it's Saturday night. I'm gonna get jump in and try to relax. Oh gosh, that reminds me. I need to put that dumb thing on my back. The last like 3 days, I forgot to do that, and I'm pretty sure my remote doctor is like gonna give me shit about it. It's not hard. It doesn't hurt or anything. I just keep forgetting about it, and it's funny because I do all the little exercises during the week. So like this thing, you think it'd be easy, but I just get tied up doing other things. I want to come on here. I'm trying to be more consistent, guys. It's really hard because I literally get like 2 views. One of them is me looking at my videos, so it's just I don't need money to keep me going, right? I just want to make sure that I'm helping out, that people are watching the videos, and they actually, hopefully it's, even if it's not like I'm, maybe there's not a lot of value here for you, right? Like there's not a, I don't know. I'm trying to make a community as well. Other guys need more guy friends, and it's like, where the hell do you go? Because, sorry ladies, you've like taken every place that men had where they could go by themselves and just be, just be a man, and then be like, I want to come here and be like, it's kind of like skate, right? But now you can't, right? There used to be like men only gyms, right? To be honest, we probably should have men only gyms because women come in and they're like taping, and it's like, oh, you looked at my ass. It's like, no, lady, I'm trying to, that's why I have my own gym downstairs in the basement. I didn't like spending time, driving there and back for it. But yeah, I'm just like, people are so, they're just, I'm telling you, man, most people just hate other people, and it's just, they're just like, they're mindless. And I don't know, man, it's like, I don't know, maybe when I was younger it was easier, but now it's like the older I get, and it's just like, you try to look for purpose and meaning in life, and it's just, you just see these people, and I don't know, man, I'm trying not to sound like a psychopath, but man, it's like at least 90% of people that I see, they're like NPCs. I mean, they literally have nothing on their mind. They're just mindless, and it's like, like even today when I was out walking, I'm like trying to, just be like, hey, how you doing? It's like people are, it's like, fuck you, dude. It's, you don't have to be like, hey, how you doing, blah, 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 right? But, just be like, yeah, how you doing? Just, no, like, there was a couple people where, like, they didn't even, like I didn't exist, right? And it's like, they're, like, looking right through you, and it's like they want to brush up against you. And I'm telling you, like, especially, like, these, I don't know, man, I'll call them, like, mid-20s women, girls or women. Because, like, there's a university nearby. Man, they think they own the planet. They're just going around. It's like they're walking on the wrong side of the sidewalk, and it's like you're trying to, and it's like when you go this, they go right in fucking front of you, right? And it's just, it's like, leave me the fuck alone. God damn it, man. And it's like, well, what's wrong, Frank? Who hurt you? Yeah, go fuck off. Sorry for ending it on a weird note. I'm just pissed. It's like, how much more goddamn gaslighting are we going to be continuing to be put through, right? I don't know. Sorry to kind of. All right. Anyway, we'll get that off out of the way here. So anyway, tomorrow, Sunday, there's a big. I think I've shouted him out a few times. David Wilcock. I just kind of like his channel a little bit. For the most part, I don't agree with everything. His last show, I kind of, he's talking about the divine feminine, and we're getting rid of patriarchy. I'm like, dude, we're getting rid of patriarchy? What are you talking about? The reason why we have so much crap is because these women are taking over, and it's like a matriarch. And I'm like, dude, you think this is a patriarch? No, that's a matriarch. Like, you got everything backwards, dude. So, no, but anyway, because he was on Ancient Aliens. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not. So, but yeah, there's a lot of cool, interesting stuff in there. If you're kind of a, borderline tinfoil hat, or you like aliens, or just, it's not just aliens anyway. I just say that, right, because it's, it's one of those fringe things, right? But, he knows a lot about science and things like that. So there's There's some real, because there was some really interesting things. Take aliens out of the equation, right? There was a lot of, like I'm trying to remember what it was. It was it was like music and octaves, and then how they went down into like fractals, and then like how the spacing between notes is like the same spacing between planets, and just all these connections, and you're just like, yeah, this shit just didn't happen on its own, right? Like, is there adaptation? Yes. Is evolution like there was nothing here and then all of a sudden we had mankind? Like, yeah, right. Like, dude, you're more likely to win the lottery without playing the lottery. That's and then you need a miracle, and then maybe evolution can happen, right? So, with that said, guys, we're coming up to a little bit over 20 minutes. I want to keep it short. I wanted it shorter than this, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. And with that said, have a good weekend, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.